won his first race here in Paris Bercy in 1989. And it looks as if Cyril Porte, who failed by a whisker, third in the repechage to qualify for the final of tonight's World Championship 250, has decided to go in for the jumping contest instead. As they once used to say about a famous Tottenham Hotspur fullback, nice one, Cyril. As I was saying, incidentally, Larry Ward leads with 37 points the World Supercross Championship. Jeff Emig is in second place with 31 points. Damon Huffman third on 28. Ryan Hughes, his Kawasaki teammate, the three Kawasaki's all together there, fourth on 27. Ezra Lusk, fifth on 23. Mike Craig of Honda of Troy next on 20. And here's Cyril Porte. And he's doing a bit of a Jeremy McGrath, isn't he? They've all seen Jeremy do that. They've all practiced it themselves. The terrifying thing, isn't it, about the modern world is that something like that rapidly becomes old hat. Once the originator of it, Jeremy and Showtime McGrath, finds something else to do, then so, oh! And Cyril has been practicing something else. Well, that's Cyril Porte giving us a glimpse of some of his talents. Clicking the soles of his boots together. That would be it looks like something that would be very hard to do if you're actually sitting on in an armchair or something, isn't it? And he certainly practiced that nicely. That's Jeremy McGrath's knack-knack. The click of the heels, the glance towards the crowd as if to say, let's see you appreciate that. Of course, the fact that he's French must be worth at least a dozen decibels whenever he performs one of these tricks, when it comes to getting vaulted on. But the next one up is Danny Ham. Well, after racing tonight, he's decided that he's going to stick with the jump off as well. Obviously enjoyed it last night. So here is the 18-year-old Australian. Oh, shaking his head. Nothing happened, Danny. I think we can safely say he didn't intend that quite. Danny Ham, the man who finished third in the Australian Supercross Championships this year. He's going to come round again, give us another showing, we hope. Here he goes again. Oh, I can see why. I can see why you need to be lined up properly there, Danny. If you let go of that in mid-air and you really weren't quite where you wanted to be, then you'd probably have nothing to land on. Well, that was a no-handed landing. I'm not too sure that Danny Ham intended that quite. Be careful, kid, it's a long way back to Australia. Oh, he says, yes, he did. He did. He's saying, look at this, I'm going to land with no hands on, just hold on to it with my knees. En 95, le premier concours de saut de l'histoire avait eu lieu au Palais des Sports de Paris Bercy. Premier concours de saut de l'histoire où Mike Metzger, Jeremy McGrath, les deux. And here we go, Serge Guidetti, the guy who won the jump contest last year. He's back. Incidentally, if you're wondering where Mike Metzger is, the guy who was the American lunatic who starred in Paris Bercy's jump contest last year, well, he actually came to race this time. It's not something he seems to do particularly often, but Metzger came to race, and he did so rather wildly, and in fact he crashed and broke his femur last night. That was the reason the show was running late and why we were rather late on air. And Serge Guidetti gives it a bit of Metzger's dance technique, actually a sort of rather romantic Celtic version, a somewhat suggestive Celtic version. Oh, go for it, Serge. You might as well take her underneath the Dunlop Bridge, I think, mate. We'll see you later. This is Serge Guidetti. As I was saying, Metzger broke his thigh. He was operated on last night. He's comfortable, had a steel rod put in the thigh, and he'll no doubt be back to entertain us one day in the future, because that's not the sort of injury that stops these guys. Oh, I think Serge is leaving us now. He's taking the lady with us. Perhaps he's going to jump with her on the front. That would be something of an epic, but I think she's to say, hang on, I could do with a bit more protection than this.
Actually, so could Serge. I'd rather he didn't just jump in a woolly hat. Shades of the sort of light canvas First World War airtime, wartime pilot. And Serge Guidetti thoroughly enjoying himself. With the Bonbon girls. Back to the World Supercross Championship, if I may, for a moment, while Serge Guidetti's enjoying the lady. Joint 7th in the championship. We have the first, if I may call it, European, or at least non-American influence, tied on 17 points. Sebastian Tortoli, who finished 3rd last night, and Greg Albertine, who almost won it last night. Albertine, of course, world champion 1992, 93 and 94, went over to America and found it underestimated, as he's honestly admitted to, underestimating the quality of Supercross in the States. Mind you, he got injured straight away, suffered a lot with injuries during the first 18 months. He's begun to get things together during the second half of this year. He's saved his factory Suzuki contract, and he'll be back with them in 1997. And he came as close as a man can get to winning last night, crashing in the last corner when it looked like he had victory in his grasp. Serge Guidetti winding up the French crowd with serious assistance from our portly, bald-headed, lovable raconteur, Lulu Bernadelli. Let's see what he's got in store. Oh, he's obviously been having a look at Cyril Port. Guidetti, presently 6th in the 125 European Cup Series. Asking for a little more, politely requesting a little more cheering there. Let's see what he's going to do this time. And that's the one that startled the Americans last year and won it for him, when he just sort of casually taps the front mudguard. He likes that one. The crowd liked that last year. And it's become a more delicate sort of caress, a fondling of the front mudguard by the sole of the foot. Try that on the armchair, see how it feels. Those people of you who've got the room to sort of sit in front of the television right now. It looks to me like it must be quite a difficult trick to perform when you're not flying through the air on a motorcycle. The lineup, incidentally, for the... Oh, and here we have Torrenteras. This isn't the time to tell you about a lineup when you get a lunatic Spaniard. 16-year-old Edgar Torrenteras is here to entertain you. First with his dancing technique. And as we know already, a very, very, very devoted little Roman Catholic boy. This kid, 16 years old, he was runner-up in the 80cc European Motocross Championship of 1995. He was 9th in the European 125cc Supercross Championship of 95. He was 20th in the European 125cc Championship of 1996. This is his first appearance in Bercy. I beg your pardon, he was here last year. They let him in 1995. They're getting younger every year. Torrenteras on a Kawasaki. Now, what he was doing last night was performing sort of several tricks in the one jump, which was something that we'd never really seen anyone do before. And the crowd... He only needs to do a little trick double like that and he's doing the whole thing. He's just stuck beneath the sort of the pressman there and even wound them up. Right, that's his warm-up routine. What next? This kid could become the ultimate. The Spanish have never really, considering the amazing enthusiasm for two-wheeled sport in Spain, they've never actually had a sort of absolutely top-flight motocrosser. I wonder if this boy's going to be it. I do like that one where he just rests the knees casually on the bars like that, more or less stands on the tank. The slow-mo allows us to see it in a little more detail. Oh, it's very tiny, isn't it? It's not his knees, it's his ankles he's wrapping around the Renfalls there. Or kicking them over that way. This is, of course, he's very close to just chucking the thing away altogether, which you can do when you're in the desert and you've got soft sand underneath you.
Ce que sont pour vous en tout cas les deux meilleurs freestylers de la soirée. Premier pilote, on va s'approcher un petit peu que tout le monde le voit.
The crowd waiting to see what sort of applause they're going to give. First to the spectacularly coiffured Cyril Porte. Don't forget he's French, so he has got that dozen decibel start.
101 décibels, point 9, 101.9.
Notez bien.
Second to 18-year-old Australian Danny Ham. I was having a very welcome lunch with the great American Johnny O'Mara today, and this kid came in pumped and full of excitement and said to O'Mara that he'd got a ride tonight. He'd actually moved from reserve into having a ride tonight, so he was well excited. Having said that, he's turned into a sort of, you know, fairly supercilious looking teenager at the moment. Anyway, that's Australian 18-year-old Danny Ham. Not very impressed, I think, with the response he got from the French crowd. As if to say, well, is that all you can do for me? Thanks a bunch. Number 9, the relatively lunatic Serge Guidetti. He got ousted by little Edgar Torrenteras last night. They'll probably take this on to a two-man jump-off, I think. Oh, they might not. They might just go on whatever applause we get this time around. Well, there's a few persons in that crowd who would like, some Parisian persons who would like to see this boy get the win today. Oh, that wonderfully Gallic profile, looking very pleased with that response.
107 décibels, point 8.
He certainly should get the vote for the most suggestive of the dancing routines. Torrenteras, more of a sort of happily shaking little boy. I think this kid's got it, you know. I think for the first time a French crowd is overruling its heart and simply going for the one who just does the most astonishing pyrotechnics when he's in the air, on or rather off the motorcycle. And I still think that's a great paint job on that helmet. And listen to these 13,000 French folk with actually quite a hefty smattering of English people around as well enjoying this tonight. They travel over because they just know what great crack this Parisian Supercross is. Steve McMillan, the Honda rising son of Honda UK boss and off-road enthusiast Bob McMillan, he was reeling around tonight, enjoying himself with a few pals. Now then, this is the shoot-off. Has Serge Guidetti got anything up his sleeve? He produced something that no one else had done last year, and he won. What's he got this time? A quick clap to warm up with. Okay, Serge, this is your chance. Now, I think you could tell from the crowd response to that one, well, you know, there's just a bit more animation and frenzy about the stuff that the Spanish kid's doing. That was neat though, wasn't it? I'll just caress the front the front mud guard. Give myself a quick round of applause. But what's this little fella going to do? He's like a sort of he's like a sort of electrocuted marionette when he's in the air on the bike, isn't he? Well, actually, when he's on the bike at all, never mind in the air. Here he goes. I'm going to stand on the tank, but I'm going to do it sideways. All right, let's have that in snowboard then, Edgar. What's he got for us next? It's a hell of a repertoire, isn't it? Well, if the 1975, 1979, 1980 and 81 world champion Harry Everts, who trains some of these kids for the Spanish Federation, has taught these tricks to Edgar Torrenteras, I'm really impressed with you, Harry. Oh, and he did a Superman. Now, I'd almost thought he was too short to do a Superman, but he did a bit of a Jeremy McGrath Superman there.
Serge Edgar sur le plateau d'Alop. La passerelle d'Alop pour Serge Edgar. Très rapidement, Serge Edgar. Edgar, please.
Oh, yes. In fact, it's not so much, it's not quite of a sort of straight-legged flowing Superman in the McGrath mould. Watch this.
Avec plaisir, Jean-Louis.
Yes, he does actually stand on the seat.
Et aux téléspectateurs de l'Europe entière.
Oh, that's terrific.
Les deux finalistes vont maintenant être départagés par un jury.
Well, I think, to be perfectly honest, I don't think there can be any other winner here. I think this kid Torrenteras has got this tied up. Serge Guidetti's done his best. He certainly ran off with the girl, which was one big point in his favour. But I think commentator Francis Magnanou, and I think a rather resigned Serge Guidetti knows where the result's going to lie here.
De donner votre note et votre amour à Serge Guidetti.
Well, they're not on their feet, Serge. And I think they'd be surging to their feet if they were really on your side. Yeah, you know how it feels. At least you took it a little better than Danny Ham. And here's Edgar. I would have been call him Eddie when he becomes extremely famous. Well, he's getting famous enough already, isn't it, just on this performance? Well, I think the 1996 Parisian equivalent of the clapometer might burst now. The Spanish 16-year-old Pope kisses the earth on which he performs. Well, off which he performs, actually. I mean, he was nowhere near it when he was winning that roof-raising round of applause.
101 décibels.5. Notre ami Torrenteras, 107.9. Torrenteras vainqueur.
Guidetti takes it in good part. And that's it then. Edgar Torrenteras takes the jump contest this year, 1996 at Paris Bercy, takes his first big step to stardom, and we'll be back here with you with the World Championship finale next.